Hello, I am Chloe Edwards, Outreach Coordinator at Voices for Virginia's Children. Thank you for your interest in our 2019 election guide and for downloading our webinar to learn more about how to use it. We encourage partners, organizations, and networks to host forums. Voices can be a resource in offering guidance and suggestions along the way in the planning process. We are Virginia's only multi-issue child advocacy organization and home to the State Kids Count Data Center. We are privately funded and nonpartisan. We do not endorse candidates. Our work is grounded in research and data, which I think you will find useful throughout our election guide. In November 2019, all 140 seats in the Virginia General Assembly will be up for election. The 40 senators and 100 delegates voters-elect determine how laws will be written and whether those laws will help children succeed. Campaign season is a crucial time for voters to educate candidates on the issues they care about. We encourage child advocates to use these talking points and questions to help educate candidates in addressing issues during their campaigns and even after they are elected. Our election guide can be used as a toolkit to engage with candidates through forums. We have our University of Richmond undergrad Bonner Scholar intern here, who has helped us throughout the year and is working with us on this project this summer. I'd like to introduce you to Kevin Villagomez, who will collaborate with me on walking you through some guidance for the toolkit.
Hello, I'm Kevin Villagomez, and today we will be discussing the 2019 Virginia elections and in ways which nonprofit organizations and individuals can be engaged in voter advocacy and voter education.
We will be directing the conversation towards questions that are frequently asked. We're going to begin broadly with the discussion of the term electoral advocacy. We are then going to briefly highlight some of what is at stake in elections across the Commonwealth and break down a timeline for advocacy. The bulk of this presentation will look more deeply at the role of voices in advocacy and the procedures that advocates must take to remain nonpartisan as outlined as a requirement for 501c3 organizations.
In the simplest of terms, electoral advocacy is a way to champion issues and bring them to the forefront of an election. We want candidates to grapple with the issues that matter most to the Commonwealth, and there are a variety of ways to do this, many of which we have listed here below.
The 2019 election season is a great opportunity to put our election guide to work. With all 100 House of Delegates seats up for election and 40 Senate seats up for election, this is a great time to have your voice heard by the many candidates running for office. Our election guide makes this easy by providing you with all the facts and data you need to be prepared to host or attend a candidate forum or town hall event.
Before we take a look at the candidates running for office, we would like to take a moment to reiterate our commitment as a nonprofit organization to being nonpartisan. We do not prescribe specific policy solutions in our election guide, so that way candidates can answer each question honestly. If you would like more information about our election guide or any of our other work, you can access it on our website at vakids.org. We have 17 total current legislators that are not returning. There are 14 open seats in the House and 3 open seats in the Senate. A number of them are in particularly fast-growing suburban communities. For example, the Northern Virginia suburbs, the Virginia Hampton Roads area, and also the Richmond suburbs. Additionally, there are 28 out of 40 seats being contested in the Senate, as well as 69 out of 100 seats contested in the House of Delegates as well. We got all of this information from the Virginia Public Access Project, which is located at BiPAP.org. It is an incredible source, and you should check it out for more information about the election.
As Kevin showed, there are a lot of tight and exciting races to watch this year, and this gives us a great opportunity to get involved on both the district and state level. The 2019 election guide is designed to bring issues children face to candidates and voters. We will be distributing this guide electronically to our partners, and it can be found on our website at vakids.org/elections. The inserts in this election guide provide relevant data and highlight policy issues affecting Virginia's children. Each one-page handout provides sample questions that advocates can ask candidates to get more details about a particular issue. The election guide elements can be used separately to go in depth about an issue or can be used together to cover the wide array of issues that children face. The topics covered include early childhood, family economic security, foster care, children's mental health, and trauma-informed care. Each component of the report and toolkit are available for download. Get all of the materials or just the ones that are most relevant to your interest or organization.
Our key recommendation is that you encourage your organizations and your partner organizations and networks to not only host a candidate forum, but also keep this guide in your back pocket. Carry it with you, either physically or mentally, so that when you have the chance or the opportunity to interact with the candidate, you can ask an informed and meaningful question or articulate a point that is supported by data. In the past, we have heard from partners who kept an election guide by their front door to have ready if a candidate came to their door campaigning. We also recommend that you use this guide as a foundation upon which you include your own personal stories and questions. There are many ways that you can use this information during the campaign season and beyond the electoral campaign. Use it for a blog post highlighting the election to your participants or clients. Write a letter to editors for an op-ed, or even submit your op-ed piece. You can also use these as talking points after the election is over with elected policymakers at the local, state, and federal level. We encourage you to share candidates' responses to the questions with us on social media, so that's why we have created the hashtag #VAVotesForKids as a way of keeping all things election guide related in one spot. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and tag your posts using the hashtag #VAVotesForKids.
In addition, nonprofits have a unique position in elections. Many of us have an opportunity to reach a wide coalition of individuals who share interests in our issues. As such, electoral advocacy can be a powerful way to educate and empower your audience to go out and engage with candidates and vote. However, social media can complicate and compromise 501c3 regulations if certain precautions are not taken. As organizations, the key concern is losing a nonpartisan identity by appearing to endorse or disapprove of candidates. To avoid this, refrain from interacting with candidates directly by retweeting them. Do not make comments of support for any candidate through social media. We recognize that social media can be a great way to share information with voters and candidates. Please share coverage of what every candidate says about relevant issues, notify voters of upcoming forums and election dates, and produce media on issues that matter to your organization. Remember, members of organizations are individuals and voters as well. On personal accounts, feel free to share your beliefs and information about our guide. If you are employed by a nonprofit organization, refrain from engaging in these opportunities during working hours and avoid making connections between your personal beliefs and those of your organization. While avoiding partisanship may seem difficult, it may be helpful to consider one question when making the decision about whether or not to post. Could anyone potentially mistake this post as the position of my organization rather than my own personal beliefs?
To further show this, here we have two examples of social media posts sent from our organization using our 2017 election. We will be releasing a new social media guide with sample tweets and posts in August. Take a minute to examine them and answer the question on the slide. Do these posts get 2 thumbs up? The answer is yes. The first post is a sample from our social media guide last year. It shows data on an issue that matters to voices, but does not explicitly call out to a candidate for failing to take the same stance, nor does it endorse any candidate who agrees with it. Additionally, the hashtag #VAVotesForKids does not violate nonpartisan status. Both posts get 2 thumbs up because they do not violate regulations, but bring up the issues that we believe should be considered in this election and empower voters to become informed. Revisit our election guide website and blog to find out our social media guide in August as well.
We will now discuss a second area in which nonprofits can get involved in elections: forums and other candidate events. These types of events can be a great way to get candidates to engage on a specific set of issues and to interact with each other and voters. When holding one of these events, strive to invite all candidates. Additionally, ensure that all candidates have an equal opportunity to participate. This may mean asking them the same amount of similar questions along with giving them the same amount of time to debate. Having a nonpartisan representative acting as a facilitator or moderator may be a great way to show your organization's nonpartisan commitment. We would recommend inviting media or engaging in a live streaming tool to record forums for voters who cannot be present. In addition, you may allow candidates to distribute campaign literature, but do not distribute it yourselves.
Voters can also benefit from attending or hosting candidate events. As voters participate in forums or hosting forums, ask questions that interest you. A great place to start looking for questions is our election guide, which has about 6 to 8 questions on each issue. You can build on these questions or ask your own. Include personal stories and other relevant data and facts to further contextualize the question. If you're an attendee, always be prepared to ask a question. Now, here's an activity. Pretend you are at a meeting and think of a question that you might ask. Think about the steps in your plan for attending an event. Have your questions ready to be prepared to share on social media. Make sure you introduce yourself. Think about what you might do once you're there. Will you have information about your organization or invite the candidate back for a follow-up visit?
The timeline for the elections is going to move fairly quickly now that the primary elections are over. Candidates will be participating in a number of forums, debates, and town hall events. These are perfect opportunities for voters to use our election guide to ask the questions they believe are most important. Be sure to follow these candidates on social media to find out when they will be in your area or sign up for their mailing list for all the latest info. You can find our social media guide on our website under Elections in August. On our website, you can also find social media handles for candidates as well in August. Use our scripted toolkit of tweets, infographic images, sample text, and posts coming out. A great time to use these is after Labor Day as the campaign heats up. Again, you'll get all of this information in August.
Throughout the course of this election season, you may find yourself needing more information or guidance. Some resources we recommend include Virginia's Public Access Project, Boulder Advocacy for Alliance for Justice, the Virginia State Board of Elections, and also the Republican and the Democratic parties of Virginia's websites.
We hope that today's presentation has provided you with the tools to confidently participate in this election. We will post a recording of this webinar as well as our 2019 election guide, a user guide, and social media resources on our website at vakids.org/elections in August. Additionally, you can find our contact information here. Please do not hesitate to send this webinar and our contact information to partners that might be interested. Remember to use Voices as a resource if you have any questions. We encourage all viewers to host their candidate forums and look forward to seeing pictures of them in action. Thank you for listening in today.